Yeah, your boy is here.
What's going on?
What
Oh
up?
God.
We here.
Oh,
We here.
All right, so welcome to another episode of League with No Name podcast. It's your boy Beans. I was about to say, I don't even know what they call me anymore. We got Gabe here, special guest. We got Moose.
Oh, brother.
What's up?
Boy
I'm
in the
back.
building.
I'm back.
Yeah, Cheese should be jumping in a second. How's everybody feeling this morning?
Doing pretty good, man. Want some yard work. Can't complain.
That Moose always got something going on. This is Cheese here. I'm gonna let him in, and we're just gonna keep talking. So before we get into it, to the fans, people that listen, sorry, it's been a very long time since we recorded. We got a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of stuff to catch up on. So first and foremost, we finally got the draft order. In order to get the draft order, we had to do the 40s. So I think everybody kind of took the 40s lightly, but I think Moose took it very seriously, and he ended up in what? You had the third fastest or fourth? Third, right?
Third place.
So how did you feel after that? Because you and Los was going at it for weeks up to that point. He said he was going to smoke you, and he kind of did.
Well, first of all, he didn't smoke. I'm unsmokable. I'm unsmokable. You feel me?
You came in
somebody
by third place. You came in third place.
Beating somebody by
he smoked you. You came in third
what
place.
was it? Tenth of a second. I don't think that's considered smoke.
You wasn't even second place. He beat you.
Okay, that's true. But like I said, I didn't get smoked. I'm unsmokable. I smoked you. You've been smoked. You wasn't
in competition.
You were smoked.
You wasn't in competition.
You were smoked though.
You wasn't in competition.
You were smoked. You're barbecue chicken. You shouldn't be talking right now,
bro.
Bro. He asked me a question. The slow pokes don't talk right now.
Low smoked you.
No slow pokes talking right now.
You said you was gonna come in first and you came in third. You wasn't even second fastest. You third.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I mean? That's cool. It was a lot of clock malfunctioning out there.
Yeah. Them legs was malfunctioning. That's what really was happening.
What place you come in though? What place you come in?
It didn't matter. I wasn't training. You was training. You was training
by Casey, bro.
You hired a professional trainer. You hired a professional trainer. The only one in chat that hired a professional trainer.
You got smoked by Stone Feet Casey,
just to come in third place.
All right.
I hope you cut them pay stubs. I hope you.
How did Casey smoke you, bro?
Try that trainer. You need a refund.
How did Cheese get hired?
Yo, let's reel it in.
Cheese beat you, bro. Cheese 200 pounds. Cut it.
All right. Speaking of cheese,
you slow.
Yo.
Oh gosh.
Yo, what's good with the subtle attacks, man?
Nah, they wasn't subtle. They wasn't subtle, Cheese.
So speaking of cheese,
all that training and he got no abs. Look at that. He still don't got no abs.
Oh my.
You don't want none of me though. You still scared of me though.
Still don't got no abs.
You still scared to come out here.
Put that bird chest away.
You still scared to come out though.
Put that bird chest away.
Are you still scared of me?
All right, yo. So I'm not even gonna bring up the cheese thing. That's just gonna spiral even more. So let's jump right into draft order. So you had the third choice of your pick, and you chose what pick do you have, Moose? Third, right?
I got third pick.
So why did you go with the third pick? What's it about 3 that you like?
Just the position, as far as like strategy wise, I either was looking at 3 or 9. I kind of wanted to do not the back to back, but almost back to back, so I'm not waiting as much. And I kind of wanted to get one of the studs at 3. So I feel like at 3 I'm a perfect position. I'm comfortable with 3 people at that spot. So if those 3 fly, I'm cool with grabbing one of those guys.
Gotcha. And Cheese, you're what, 5th or 6th?
Yeah.
5th? All right. So what was your thought process behind taking 5?
I always like the middle of the draft just because I got a better sense of how the draft going and what players are going to still be on the board. So with it being a 10-man league, 4 through 7, I'm always comfortable with. And when Randy hit me with the these are available. I think it was 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8 were taken.
Yeah.
So I just said.
So you picked before Gabe. You were faster than Gabe. That means.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, you 200 pounds and you faster than that guy.
Oh my God.
Brother,
You supposed to be in the gym lately?
Bro.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault.
Why you making this about Gabe?
How your draft gonna be though? Your draft gonna be
My fault.
You was
casting slow.
You was third fastest for your draft. Trash.
I didn't think T's gonna be faster than Gabe.
So
your draft gonna be trash though.
Yeah,
once it got to you, Gabe. All right. Once it got to you, Gabe, you had what 4 choices, Gabe, and one of them was number 1. So of the choices you have, why did you decide to go number 1? That's a lot of pressure because you got a long wait to get to your second pick.
That's all he had to pick from. He was so slow. He had him too many choices.
No, that's not true.
When you that slow, you don't got too many choices when you that slow.
He could have took. I took 9. I was behind Gabe. He could have took 9. That's a whole. He could have took Randy's spot. He could have took Austin's spot. So he had choices.
Yeah, I had between
he had a
1,
few.
2, I think 8. That's what you got, right? Oh, 8. And
I took 9. I think Randy is 7 or 8.
I think I had 1, 2, 8, 9, and I forgot what else. But I mean, I kind of like the back half too. I was looking at the back half being around 8 or 9. But originally I wanted to be maybe like somewhere in the top 3, if not in the middle. That's where I was originally aiming. I really did like that 3 spot that Moose had between 3 or 4, but I knew Los and Moose was taking that. So I figured, you know what, why not get 1 and, you know, get the choice of whoever I want. You know, because when it comes to me, I mean, I'm not necessarily taking the number 1 consensus guy. So I'm like,
we know that.
I take 1. I take the first pick and just get the guy I wanted anyways.
Gotcha. So when you took the first pick, did you have a guy in mind, or did you just like the spot?
Nah, I like the spot. A little bit of both. I had pretty much like 2, 3 guys that I would want in that top 3. Like if I would have had the third pick, I had a guy in mind I was taking. So I just figured, you know what, I'll just take 1, and if I want the guy that I was gonna take at 3, I just take him at 1. But I'm comfortable at 1 too.
Gotcha. So Moose, you got Gabe in front of you, you got Stoll in front of you, and the chat has been talking about how both of those guys are kind of wild cards. So how are you preparing for your third pick when you kind of don't have any idea what's going to happen? Usually we have a general idea of who they probably will take. What's your game plan, Moose?
I just want to pick 3 players who I like, and obviously they can't pick all 3 because there's only 2 of them. Stolen, Gabe, definitely wild cards. There's no telling where they're going to go. So if they leave somebody for me, I'm just going to take them. But I don't know which order it's going to go. But I feel like Gabe will go. If I had to guess, I think Gabe go JJ and Stoll goes JT. And I'm looking at either like C-Mac or Chase.
Gotcha. So you think
I really want C-Mac. I really do, but it's just hard because I had him 3 years in a row. He didn't have like a bad injury. Like he didn't have like one of those ACL tears or one of those bad injuries. He just had like bad luck, I feel like. So at my pick at 3, when I have like Chase or C-Mac there, it's gonna be hard to leave C-Mac. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be really hard for me.
So you said you think that Gabe will take Justin Jefferson and then Stoll will take Jonathan Taylor. I know you love JJ, so you think he's worthy of the number 1 pick, Jefferson?
Jefferson? I feel like you should. I feel like the number 1 should go get like a JT because he's like a C-Mac because like they're like the RB studs right now. And there's a lot of like wide receiver talent, but you really can't go wrong. I mean, you really can't go wrong with JJ at 1. So it's not a bad pick. But if it was me, I probably would go with one of the stronger running backs like JT and like C-Mac, because like I was looking up some stats. They were saying like no one has years like C-Mac since LT, and that's sick, whatever.
Yeah, he's
So
definitely the guy.
I don't know, man. I feel like JT is not a bad pick at one, but I will go like maybe like I mean JT not a bad pick at one, but I'll go JT or C-Mac.
I think JT is probably the consensus, but we all know, Gabe likes to throw some wrenches in the plan. So I'm really
Gabe. I don't think Gabe's going JT because he does things different than what the ADP will say or what everyone else would say. He doesn't care. He'll pick anybody. So I don't think he never picks who he's supposed to. So that's why I don't think he's going with JJ. He'd probably go with JT probably go with JJ or like, I don't know. He might surprise the draft. I don't know. There's no telling.
So you had some thoughts on C-Mac Cheese. What is your issue with C-Mac? Is it just the injuries? Because when healthy, he's probably the best fantasy football player there is currently.
When healthy that's when is he healthy? He missed 23 games out of the last 33. Out of the first year was 17 and the year before was 16. He missed 23 games, I believe, out of those 2 years.
He's only played 10 games in 2 years.
Yeah, so I mean, when healthy, I mean, I'm pretty sure he is good, but he's not healthy. To me, he's like the Cowboys without having a Tony Pollard behind him. When Zeke was getting ran, when there was one running Zeke to death, he was producing like the top back. After they finished using him, you can see Zeke is projected to go what, 4th, 5th round now. To me, Christian McCaffrey is on that. He's on that level as far as.
I don't think that's true because there's no Tony Pollard in Carolina.
That's what I'm saying.
So C-Mac got all the carries.
But he got the body work. But he has the body work of Zeke already. He already has
and his injuries weren't bad injuries. They were like a bone injury, bro.
It doesn't have to be a bone injury. Ligaments are ligaments. Steven Jackson had to retire because of his hamstring.
No, I'm saying they weren't ligament. When you have a bone injury, it's easier to come back from a ligament damage, like a tear or something like that.
Bro, hamstring injuries are not light. Steven Jackson, Julio Jones, they consistently had hamstring injuries.
Yo, Moose, you guarding? He look like he guarding.
I'm doing some landscape over here.
He look like he gardening. He got the garden gloves.
I'm digging a ditch for you for the season.
He planting the tomatoes because he's about to get pizza next year.
I'm planting these.
He getting it ready. He's getting an early start.
Homemade died, nigga. No, I like C-Mac as a talent and as a football player, but when it comes to fantasy, I don't trust his body. I don't think he's gonna last. I think we saw the best C-Mac we gonna see. From what we saw that year where he went crazy.
I feel like up for debate. It's close. You never know. That's why it's a big
honestly, if
debate.
It wasn't for those young backs that just came in the league recently, it'll be a scarce running back. The Joe Mixons, the Ecklers, all them dudes, them young dudes, because I think Kamara on his way as far as his prime. He's been used for 4 or 5 years, and he don't even got the body type. All these running backs, all the running backs besides Derrick Henry are what? 5'11", 6 foot, 220 pounds, with over 1,000, 1,500 touches. Their body is used already. Is you got the prime out of them already. Like, that's why they say running backs don't last long. Their career is short. C-Mac been used since his rookie year. Zeke was used since his rookie year. The only back that's out of the OGs, like the 27, 28-year-olds, 26-year-olds, DH is the only one that didn't really play his first 2 years, but he just had a serious injury himself. So we don't even know how he's going to come back. Yeah. But all the young dudes, the Joe Mixons, the Jonathan Taylors, they ain't been used like that yet. Jonathan Taylor, last year was his first year really being used. The year before, he had what, 1,200 yards, probably had 200 carries. He still got another 1,000, 1,400 touches.
How long Mixon been in the league? I feel like Mixon been around a while, no?
I think this year 4 for Mixon.
That's it. Okay.
I think he's still on his rookie deal. They haven't signed him yet.
Yeah, they haven't signed him. Yeah, they haven't given him.
So he's still on his rookie deal, and even his rookie year, I think his rookie year he got hurt or something like that. Yeah. So he wasn't playing like that either.
He's had a few injuries, like even the year before last year, he got hurt. That's why nobody.
So the running back shelf life is very short. So I think C-Mac ran his course. To be honest, I don't got no ill will towards C-Mac. Like, if Moose don't get him at 3, I honestly think he's gonna be there. Like, who has 7?
I think the only other person that would take him is I think Casey might take him because he's the biggest risk taker in the first round.
So, yeah, Casey taking him at 6.
Honestly, if Moose don't take him, I think he goes to the beginning of the second round.
I think if
I don't take him, I think King takes him.
Nah, I could see Casey taking him, and I could see JA taking him in with his second pick of the
the second pick. I mean, the first pick in the second round.
Yeah.
So y'all think King will let C-Mac slide?
King is weird. He'll draft like Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, King usually takes the like more traditional like Dalvin Cook type of back, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Or King. I could see King taking Cooper Kupp again if he's there.
I think the 3 that King would take, I think Dalvin, Cooper Kupp, or Najee Harris.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cook or Najee for King. Those are the type of backs that he likes.
I don't think he'll take C-Mac, but I mean, we really don't know because this year it's really loaded in talent. Like, there's probably like 10 running backs and 10 receivers that could go in the first 2 rounds.
For sure.
Unless somebody, obviously, the Josh Allens who people grab. I don't grab quarterbacks that early, but it happens.
Cause see, Randy might run it back with Josh.
Nah, I don't think he not first round, but I definitely.
That's I
can see Randy got a comeback.
What pick Randy got?
I think he got like 8.
Yeah, I think he got 8.
7 or 8.
7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not gonna get him first round, but I think I definitely think Herbert and
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen could go in the first round.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Gabe, while we have you. So you're drafting next to Stoll and Moose, who tend to be wild cards, just like yourself. So how does that affect how you plan for the draft when you kind of don't know what's coming for you?
I'm expecting a lot of people that I'm expecting it to be where players that I don't expect to be there for me will be there and throw me off. So like, because I'm expecting them to leave talent here for me. Like, there's gonna be talent. Like, my situation is gonna be like, man, I wanted this dude, but these guys just looked over this other dude that I didn't think would be there.
Gotcha.
And I mean, that's you could say that's a good thing, but at the same time, it throws you off because it's like now you're like stuck. Like, man, I really thought this guy would be a good pick here, but this other player is there for me, and I don't think he was supposed to be there. So that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with. Like, there'll be players that fall that I didn't think would be there that are there, and then vice versa. Because I know one thing about Moose and Stoll, they'll take somebody that you thought was supposed to go 2 rounds later, and they'll take them 2 rounds earlier, and you're like, oh snap, like, and it kind of throws your because me being that first pick, I'm gonna have to reach for certain players because since I have such a long wait, there's gonna be a player that's like, you guys might see me go for that. You're like, man, I thought that guy was gonna go the next round, but it's like, well, the next round he wouldn't have been there for me, so I gotta take who I like.
So speaking of what you were just saying, we had a discussion in the chat yesterday about people saying that they want to draft next to Moose because he leaves people on the table sometimes. So it sounds like you kind of feel that way.
Absolutely. I was picking before him. Me and him had what I call our exhibition game last Saturday, and he actually was picking before me, and I had talent there. So that's how I'm expecting it. He left talent there for me.
So what are your thoughts on that, Moose? Because yesterday you were saying that people are not justified in wanting to draft next year.
I mean, it sounds good. The narrative sounds good, but like it's coming from the kid who picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he was a rookie at like number 2 or something like that.
I think he traded
Like,
up
come
for
on,
him
like,
too, right?
Say what?
Was that the year he traded up for him?
Say
Yeah,
what?
I traded up. Yep.
Yeah,
He traded up. He traded up to get Clyde Helaire when he could have stayed where he was and still got him. So like, it's funny that people say that about me, but they do the same things. Like, so it's weird that people say that, and nobody want to draft. Nobody wanted ship next to me. Like, and then I know
Pause.
hold on, I ain't finished. So I know yesterday we had this debate, whatever, and they said last year Randy wanted to ship next to me, but that clearly was Stoll's gift to Randy by giving him the number 1 overall pick JT for Mark Andrews, which was very stupid. So I don't think that the draft affected Randy's win. I feel like it was that trade, because as soon as Randy got that trade, his team just started getting real hot. So like I said, when people draft next to Moose, they don't really have too many great performances. But that year that JA won the ship, he drafted next to Otis.
Right.
So
but I was on your side. When I brought up Randy yesterday, I said like he didn't win because of you. He won because of he picked up Patterson and he had that trade. So it's a combination. It's a combination of drafting and what you do on the wire and with the trades.
Yeah.
But,
so I don't feel like
but the draft is the foundation.
Helps you out, because
the draft is
other people. You know what I'm saying?
Draft for me is the foundation. So that does play a role in it. It might not be the main reason that he won, but you got to have the other pieces there to win. So
yeah, but
you got to have the other pieces, because Jonathan Taylor was the RB1 last year, but when you had C-Mac, you didn't even make playoffs when he was the RB1, and he had the best fantasy season ever for a running back, and you didn't even make playoffs. So your team's got to be set. Has to be set. It has to be drafted.
True. Moose,
that's the only spot where you can get
his best fantasy year ever,
and you didn't make playoffs. So I mean, how is the draft not affect that?
It was by and other people got hurt as well. C-Mac can't win you a shit by himself, whatever.
Exactly. So Jonathan Taylor can't win you a shit by yourself either.
Well, he wouldn't have won that shit without Jonathan Taylor, though.
We don't know that.
I do know that, because we do know that his team wasn't thriving like that, bro. His team started going on a hot streak as soon as
but his team doesn't have to go on a hot streak to win. When I won, I barely had people that I drafted.
No, when you won, it was because you got lucky, bro. Call
it whatever you want.
Your team was trashed. Your team was trashed the whole year. You started off 0-4.
So
what happened? All you gotta do is make the playoffs, bro. All you gotta do. You don't have to be the best player every year.
So the point is, the draft narrative doesn't matter, because like people say you draft next to somebody, leaving people on the table, like 2 or 3 other people are not in front of you who could take other picks or not. Like, so it doesn't really matter who's next to you. I don't think
it does matter who's next to you.
No, it doesn't.
It matters,
bro.
I think it matters, but I think we'd be overhyping it.
You overhyping is crazy.
It matters.
Because
it does matter.
It matters.
It doesn't matter, because the person right next to it don't make no sense, Bill. It don't make no sense, because say for instance, the person right next to you or the person in front of that person can pick the same person, bro. Like,
but they don't.
They don't. It matters. I had the year I won. I had T. King and Austin picking before me, and I ended up with Todd Gurley and Kareem Hunt.
Right.
On the same team.
It matters because everybody has different drafting strategies.
Yeah. No, it don't
one
matter.
of your drafting strategies is you reach. You like what you like, and you go get.
It don't matter. Like Gabe said, Stoll or Austin didn't pick Todd Gurley. But let's say I was in front of Stoll.
Stoll or Austin is the same person.
Yo, bro, be quiet, bro. I could have picked Todd Gurley. I could have picked
Stoll
Todd
or
Gurley in
Austin
front
is
of
the same person.
Say what?
You said Stoll or Austin. That's the same person. Who'd you mean?
Stolen, whoever was it in front of Gabe. The person right next to them, they could have picked Todd Gurley, so it doesn't really matter, bro. Like,
bro, you're going off of could-haves. Everybody has a different drafting strategy. Your drafting strategy is you reach, regardless of who you think is better. Not you might think one person is better or a better fantasy player, but you like some player this year, so you're gonna get him. And that leaves talent for the next person.
But
and if that other person
so
has
the
a draft,
so the
we'll
person
catch you
so the
later.
person
Gabe's
in
gotta
front of you
go.
don't have that strategy, they won't pick him.
You said what?
I gotta hop off, but thanks for having me, fellas.
Pause. Don't say you gotta hop off. You're wilding.
I'll see y'all at draft.
All right, bet.
It's slow poke.
What you about to say, Moose? What you about to tell him? Go what?
No, I said slow poke.
So I did want to say to Moose's point about Randy not being able to win without JT. Randy was beating people by crazy amounts of points. So what we kind of have given Stoll the business because he gave up what he gave up, and that's fair. But Mark Andrews did finish as the tight end one for the last how many ever weeks. So he was, I think if Randy still had him, he wouldn't be blowing people out, but he still had a good chance to win. So I'm just saying that
very good chance.
A tight end, I can tell you, but a tight end one doesn't compare to a RB1. But
it depends what the tight end is doing. If he's getting 10 catches, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns, that's
when
more
has a
than
tight end?
When
has a tight end one ever outshine a RB1?
No, but my point is,
you can't compare the two. Come on, that's
Travis Kelce does that a lot. Mark Andrews had 1,400 yards last year.
Have Travis Kelce ever outperformed the number one RB in a year? No, yeah.
Wait, but you're missing the point I'm trying to make is that the way Randy was running through teams, he might win by 30 or 40 points. So JT might outscore Mark Andrews that week by 15, 20 points. But he still would have won with Mark Andrews. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just because he had the RB1 doesn't mean he's necessarily he wasn't going to win anyway, because he had Cordero Patterson. That pickup itself, those two put him in a good chance, but you can't say if he kept Mark Andrews, he would have won. It probably would have been closer.
Yeah, that's my point. It would have been a lot closer, but I think he probably still squeaks out a number of those wins because Mark Andrews was still balling. Mark Andrews might still give you 25,
his
30.
team was set up correctly. Who was his quarterback? Did he have Josh Allen last year?
I think he had Josh Allen, yeah. So he had pieces. And that goes back to the draft.
Crazy talent.
And that goes back to the draft. Yeah, he got Cordell, major boost. Yeah, he got JT.
He didn't get Cordell in the draft. He didn't get Cordell in the draft.
No, I said he picked him up later. Yeah, he got JT later, but that foundation was there because he had a pretty solid draft. That was the point I was making. But speaking of Josh Allen, we can end here. The past, I don't know, probably at least 3, maybe 4 years, the quarterback went number 1 overall. And now we're talking about maybe not even seeing a quarterback to the mid-second round. So why do you think that shift has changed, that we are not willing to put that much capital into a quarterback anymore?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's no QB this year who's like that ultimate stud this year. That's one. And 2, there's a lot of QB talent. I was looking at the QBs, and there's 12 quarterbacks who I'm comfortable with starting with. You know what I mean? So I can wait for a few.
I get you, but to that point, I think there's QB talent everywhere. Every year, there's always, I think there's enough QB talent for everybody to have a pretty dominant QB1 on our team. There's 10 guys every year that could do that. And I think Josh Allen has the potential to do numbers similar to what Pat was doing 2 years ago because he gives you the extra rushing ability that Pat wasn't really doing. So Josh is doing the passing, but he's also getting those rushing touchdowns. So I don't know if it's fair to say that there's no quarterback that could do what Pat was doing before.
It's just that he's not – Josh Allen is not like a sure bet. Like those years that we were picking Pat Mahomes, you knew Pat Mahomes was going to give you that work. Besides when you picked him, but because he just happened to have that bad year when you grabbed him. But like other than that, Pat, you knew Pat was going to do work for you.
Unnecessary but true. Go ahead.
What you mean?
I think this offseason has a lot to do with it. Like this has been probably the craziest offseason in NFL history with the talent that shift. So a team like Derek Carr was always pick upable, if that's a word. He was you could always pick up Derek Carr on the waiver wire. He was a good, my quarterback's hurt or he on a bye week. Let me get Derek Carr for the week. Now, Derek Carr is getting drafted with the talent he has. Right, he has Devontae. He has He has Darren Waller. He has Hunter Renfrow. He has an offensive-minded coach. So the emergence of Derek Carr's weapons, Joe Burrow doing what he did last year, and he having probably the best offense in the NFL, arguably the best offense, being a quarterback with the offense with the best. I fuck that sits up to. Josh Allen, Justin
Trying
Herbert.
to talk like me, trying to be in a car like me.
But
Shut up, man.
I agree with your point that there's more parity, but in terms of teams looking different, yeah, Pat might go down a little bit losing Reek, A-Rod go down a little bit losing Devontae, but the top, at least in my opinion, I don't mind saying it, the top three guys, they still got the exact same core they had before. Burrow still got his top two guys. Allen still got his guys. I don't know, is Emmanuel Sanders still there? No, right?
He could be. I'm not sure. No, yeah, he a free agent.
But either way, he
Yeah,
still got
he's-
Diggs, he still got Knox, he still got Gabriel Davis, who should step into a new role. He still got the same weapons, and Herbert got the same weapons. So, I mean, I don't think those three guys changed.
But at the same time, Herbert and Burrow, those are emerging quarterbacks still on their rookie deals. So this is the third year for Burrow and Herbert.
I think so, yeah.
This is the year where, okay, you got experience. We saw the talent. You should be going off now, because Patrick Mahomes' third year, he was getting picked first.
Right. But
Because his second year is when King got him, when nobody really knew about him. That's when he got MVP. The next year, it was Mahomes first. So this is year 3 where guys really start, quarterbacks, I should say, really start taking off. And we already saw what Herbert could do. We already saw what Burrow could do. We know the talent is there. So it's like, go get him. Go get your guy if that's who you feel. Like me, I don't grab quarterback that early. I don't give a fuck. I'm not grabbing a quarterback that early. So, I mean, that's just my draft strategy. Everybody has their different draft strategy. I think you obviously did it.
I was kind of backed into a corner, though. I would prefer not to, but I was backed into a corner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mahomes scarred you, so I'm pretty sure you won't ever do that again. But J.A. would do it. Randy would definitely do it, and I think Los would do it. Besides that, I don't think cats are grabbing him. That's why I think Josh Allen's going in the second round. Unless Randy gets him first round, Josh Allen's going in the second round. And I think Los is going to get Chase round 1 and get Herbert round 2, because he loves who he always has.
Nah, I don't think
unless Tays there.
There's no QB going number 1 this year, in round 1 this year.
No, he said round 2.
I said round 2.
Now he said round 1. He said Randy might pick him round 1. That's not happening.
I said only way he'll go round 1 is if Randy pick him round 1. But he gonna
I
grab
don't think that happens this year.
Comeback.
Yeah.
It's too much talent at quarterback. It's too much talent at quarterback to really like, oh, this is the best quarterback. Like, if Derek Carr is QB1, are you really surprised with the weapons that he has with Josh McDaniels? No. You wouldn't be surprised if Herbert's QB1 at the end of the year, if Burrow, if Josh Allen, or Mahomes. That's 5 quarterbacks. If any of those quarterbacks are QB1 at the end of the year, I'm not surprised.
Agreed.
Even if somebody else, I mean, if a quarterback other than those, Russell Wilson, if he has a crazy year, but I don't see him being QB1 because we know how he falls off in the fourth quarter of the year. Yeah. But we'll see. He has talent now. He has way more talent now. He has 2 running backs. He hasn't had a running back since Marshawn Lynch. So, I mean, that should affect it somewhat.
I get you. But yeah, we're about to be out of time. We got the draft coming up next week, Tuesday. I think everybody's pretty excited about it. We'll be back at some point. Hopefully we can record maybe Wednesday or Thursday morning so we can recap the draft before the season starts. I can get an idea of how that went. Any final thoughts before we get off?
Yeah, you wildin'. Nah, I'm good. I don't know. I'm in 4 leagues this year, all for money. So, and our league is the last one. So I got a good feel. I'm gonna have a good feeling on drafting experience. And 2 of them are one of them is another live draft in person. So I don't know. I get a good warm up before the big leagues.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
I think I'll be ready. I wish I was right. I wish I was at 4. I'm gonna see. I can see if I'm I think I might switch draft spots if somebody want to fuck up the draft. I think I'm willing to do that, like I did last year.
Word.
Fuck up some minds, you know what I mean?
So we're gonna skip
I don't
shout
care
outs.
where I draft.
I feel it. We're gonna skip shout outs because we're about to get kicked off. So we will see y'all hopefully next week. Moose, make sure you get your mocks in so you're not messing up everybody's draft. And we'll catch y'all next week. League with no name.
Your boy.